Have you ever wondered how your favorite food delivery app actually works? You know, how it handles millions of orders without crashing, especially during that Friday night dinner rush? Well, this secret is a philosophy called DevOps. And today, we're not just going to define it, we are going to build our own app called FoodFlow from the ground up to show you exactly how it all comes together. All right, here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we need to go back in time a little to understand the huge problems that DevOps was created to solve. Then, we'll build out our automated pipeline, piece by piece, meeting the tools that make it all possible. And finally, we'll see our FoodFlow app running live and talk about what all this means for you. So before we can build anything, we have to understand why. So let's just imagine for a second a world without DevOps. Honestly, it's not a pretty picture. It's a world filled with chaos, frustration, and, yeah, a lot of hungry, angry customers. See, in this old world, you basically had two teams that were at war with each other. On one side, you have the development team. Their whole mission in life is to create new features and push changes out as fast as possible. And on the other side, you have the operations team. They're the guardians of stability. Their job is to keep the app from breaking. So you can probably see the conflict here, right? It was like having two chefs in a kitchen who just refused to talk to each other. The result? Total disaster. You get buggy software releases, the app is down all the time, and a whole culture of just pointing fingers and blaming the other team when things go wrong. Okay, so this way of working just wasn't sustainable. Something had to change. The entire tech world was desperate for a better way. A new way of thinking that could finally tear down that wall between dev and ops. And that's where DevOps comes in. Now, DevOps isn't a tool you can buy or a specific job title. It's a mindset. It's a cultural shift. The big idea is actually pretty simple. What if development and operations, dev and ops, worked together on the same team with one shared goal? That goal is to deliver amazing, reliable software to users. And the key to making it all happen is automation. So that's the what and the why. Now let's get into the how. How do we actually bring this DevOps philosophy to life for our FoodFlow app? Well, we do it by building an automated system, kind of like a superhighway that takes code from a developer's laptop all the way to you, the user. We call this automated system a pipeline, or more specifically, a CI/CD pipeline. And it really is like a software assembly line. Every single step, from writing the code to building it, testing it, and getting it out to the world, is automated. This ensures everything is fast, consistent, and high quality. Okay, now for the really fun part. We're going to build this pipeline for FoodFlow step by step. And for every tool we introduce, we're going to start by asking one simple question. What problem are we trying to solve right now? All right, problem number one. The FoodFlow team is growing. We've got multiple developers working on different things at the same time. One person might be adding a new pizza tracking feature while another is fixing a bug in the checkout process. If they both start changing the same code files, it's just gonna be chaos. And the solution to this is a tool called Git. The best way to think about Git is like a time machine for your code. It tracks every single change that's ever made. And even better, it lets each developer work on their own separate copy or branch of the code. This way, they aren't stepping on each other's toes. And when they're done, they can merge their changes back together safely. Okay, so our developers can work together now, which is great. But every time a developer adds their new code, how do we know it didn't accidentally break something else? We can't have someone manually test the entire app every single time. It would be way too slow. We need an automated gatekeeper. This is where Jenkins comes in. Jenkins is basically the engine of our pipeline. It's constantly watching the code in Git. The second it sees a new change, it kicks into gear. It automatically builds the application, runs a whole bunch of tests and quality checks, and if anything fails, it stops the entire process right there and alerts the team. So what's next? Well, we have to solve one of the oldest problems in software. The classic, it works on my machine headache. You know, a developer builds a feature, it runs perfectly on their laptop, but when we try to run it on the actual servers, it just completely breaks. We have to ensure our app works the same way everywhere. The solution here is Docker. Think of a Docker container as a perfectly sealed, standardized box for our application. Inside this box, we don't just put the code, we put everything the code needs to run. All the libraries, all the tools, all the settings. We package it all up, and now we can ship this container anywhere, and we know it's going to run exactly the same. It's all about consistency. Okay, things are going well. FoodFlow is a hit, it's Friday night, and orders are just flooding in. One little container running our app is not going to be enough. We need to run hundreds of copies to handle the traffic. And if one of them crashes, we need a new one to pop up instantly. So, how in the world do you manage that? For that, we turn to Kubernetes. Kubernetes is what we call a container orchestrator. It's like the conductor of an orchestra for all of our containers. It tells them where to run, it decides how many copies we need at any given moment, and it constantly monitors their health. If a container goes down, Kubernetes automatically replaces it. It's the brains of the operation, ensuring our app is always available. So we have our app packaged in containers, and Kubernetes is ready to manage them. But where do they actually run? Well, they run on servers, with networks and databases in the cloud. We could just log into a web console and click a million buttons to set all that up. But that's slow, and it's really easy to make mistakes. We need a better way. We need a blueprint. And that blueprint is a tool called Terraform. This introduces a really powerful concept known as infrastructure as code. Instead of clicking buttons, you write a simple text file describing the servers, networks, and databases you want. Terraform then reads that file and builds everything for you automatically. It's repeatable, it's reliable, and it is a total game changer. All right, we made it. Food Flow is live, it's running in the cloud, it's scaling, everything is great. Or is it? How do we actually know if the app is healthy? Are users getting errors when they try to check out? We can't just fly blind and hope for the best. We need visibility into what's happening. And for that, we use a powerful combination, Prometheus and Grafana. Prometheus is the tool that's constantly collecting data or metrics from every part of our system. Think of it like taking the vital signs of our app. Then, Grafana takes all that data and turns it into beautiful, easy-to-read dashboards and charts. Together, they act as the eyes and ears of our system, helping us spot problems before our users ever do. And there we have it. We've placed every single piece of the puzzle. We've built our dream team of tools. Now, let's just step back for a moment and look at the entire end-to-end system we've created. So let's trace the whole flow. A developer writes code and saves it using Git. Jenkins sees that change and triggers the pipeline. The app gets built and packaged into a Docker container. Terraform makes sure all the cloud infrastructure is ready. Kubernetes deploys those containers and manages them at scale. And the whole time, Prometheus is watching everything. That's it. That is the entire journey, from a line of code to a happy customer. And this is maybe the most important takeaway of all. We've talked about specific tools today, but those tools might be different in a few years. What's not going to change is the mindset, the philosophy of collaboration and problem-solving through automation. That is what DevOps is really about. The tools are just how we get there. So, you've seen the whole pipeline. You've seen how modern applications are built. But what does all of this mean for you and for your career in tech? Well, understanding this whole process is absolutely crucial. This is what companies are looking for. It shows you think about the big picture. You're not just focused on writing one little piece of code. You're thinking about how that code gets tested, secured, and reliably delivered to millions of users. You understand how to build modern software. And the great thing is, there's a place for everyone in this process. Maybe you love writing the code that kicks it all off. Or maybe you're excited by automating the pipeline itself. Or maybe you're fascinated by keeping a massive system like this stable and reliable. So now that you've seen how all the pieces connect, which problem are you most excited to solve?